When it comes to the silver and the gold, instead of having to borrow currency from a financial institution, you have the financial freedom to borrow the money from yourself. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and staying safe. It's a great day to have a great day. Today I wanted to talk about silver and gold and why I believe by stacking the precious metals it can lead us to somewhat of financial freedom from debt. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there, go check it out. The link will be in the description. And if you want to get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. But today I wanted to talk about silver and gold and how it can give us somewhat of a sense of financial freedom. And when I say financial freedom, I'm not referring to what most people refer to when they talk about financial freedom, having millions and millions of dollars, a seemingly unlimited amount of cash flow because they want to get a Ferrari to match their yacht, to match their Lamborghini, and that matches their private jet, and they want to take over the world and live in a big giant mansion and do whatever they want for the rest of the... That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being financially free from debt. I'm talking about no longer being shackled down and held down and tied down and backed into a corner and being pushed below water to the point where you feel like you can't even breathe because the debt is just weighing you down. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Now, when it comes to silver and gold, in no way, shape, or form, I just have to say this at the beginning of the video, I'm not trying to tell anybody to go max out their credit cards on a bunch of silver and gold because it's going to skyrocket before the payment due date. That's not what I'm talking about. I would never tell anybody to do that. I don't even believe that's a good idea. I don't think that you should take on debt just to simultaneously acquire wealth. It's almost counterproductive if you think about it. But I wanted to talk about the debt today because many people actually suggest that debt is modern-day slavery. And many people also say that all debt is bad debt, which I strongly disagree with. There is such a thing as good debt, but that's not what we're talking about in today's video. I'm talking about the bad kind of debt. Whether it's self-inflicted or not, it doesn't matter if it's debt that came from obsessive consumerism, where you bought a bunch of TVs and a bunch of laptops and a PS5 and a PS4 and a PS3 and a PS2 and all the video games in the world and a bunch of jewelry and a bunch of junk that you just don't need, all this materialistic nonsense. That's not what I'm talking about necessarily, although that could play a role. It doesn't have to be self-inflicted. It could also be something that was pretty much completely out of your control. Maybe medical debt, for example. You wake up in a hospital, it's not like you made the decision to do anything specific to get you into the hospital, although maybe you did. I don't know what you do in your life, but the point I'm trying to get across is that debt weighs people down. Debt keeps people from really being able to breathe. You can't move, you can't do anything with massive amounts of debt, and that's why a lot of people refer to it as modern-day slavery. Now, for me personally, I do not have debt. I've never had debt, and I hope to never in my life have debt, or at least the bad kind of debt. Now, when I say this, it might surprise you. I drive a car, never had a car loan. I went to college, I got a degree, never got student loans. I can't necessarily say that I've been sick or injured, so I don't have any medical debt. I have more credit cards than the average American has, but I don't have any obsessive consumer debt. I've never had the urge to buy something that I couldn't afford, so I've never gotten a personal loan. I've never borrowed money or been held down by debt before, and that's something that I would like to continue doing. I would like to continue living my life without debt. I want to stay debt-free forever. And I think that a lot of people who are stacking silver and gold have a very similar mentality. If you owe someone money, or should I say currency, if you owe someone currency, they are in control of you and your decisions and your finances. Unfortunately, you could probably say rightfully so, because if I let somebody borrow money or currency from me, I wouldn't like to see that all of a sudden they're going on vacation and buying a new car and all this before paying me back. So, gotta understand a little bit. But to prevent that from even occurring, from not even having to worry about someone overseeing you, like you're a child in a way. They're standing over your shoulder, making sure you're not doing anything that they don't want you to do with your cash because you owe them cash. You're tied down, you're held down. It's shackles and handcuffs. It's the chain with the ball where you're trapped. You're essentially a prisoner. You're imprisoned by debt. But when it comes to the silver and the gold, you have the freedom to do what you want to do. And by the way, it doesn't just have to be the silver and the gold. It could be platinum and palladium too, if you're into those metals. I'm personally not, so I'll stick to the silver and the gold. But it doesn't even just have to be money. It could be fiat as well. It could be the dollar bills. Now, what's funny about these dollar bills is they're literal debt notes, but if you're doing things your way and on your own terms, and if you're making the financial decisions, I would say that that's freedom. You're not being controlled by any one person or bank or financial institute or entity that you owe money or currency or cash or fiat to. The only person that's involved in your financial decisions is you. And your spouse if you're married. I'm assuming you probably collaborate when it comes to making financial decisions, but that's besides the point. Now the bank, here's where things actually get a little bit interesting. A lot of people are very anti the bank. People are against using the bank. They hate the bank with a burning passion. They want nothing to do with the bank. Maybe they've taken all of their cash out. They've gone completely bankless. They don't have a credit card. They don't have a debit card. They don't have a checking account. They don't have a savings account. They don't have any affiliation with the bank. In my opinion, I believe that's a mistake. And the reason I say that is because I don't believe the bank is inherently bad. I think the bank could actually be a good thing. I think the bank could potentially be a very useful tool as long as you have the financial intelligence to not let them use you as a tool. If you use them as a tool, it could be leverage. You can actually get ahead. You can come out on top. They might be making a little bit off of you because typically banks or financial institutions do get a small cut of the purchase because you used their credit card to make the purchase. And by the way, a lot of places like the store, for example, the grocery store, if you're paying in cash and your order rings up as $50 and then you say, actually, wait a second, can I pay with a credit card instead? The cashier will say, sure. They'll change something on the screen, but your balance will still say $50. That's what's due. It's not like if you use a credit card, all of a sudden now it's $53.75 because it costs more to pay with a credit card. Now, a lot of small businesses, that might actually happen. A lot of online storefronts, they might have that happen. If you pay with a check, it's usually cheaper, especially when it comes to the silver and the gold. But I'm talking about your regular everyday purchases. If you're using cash or a debit card or a credit card or a check, it's all the same. So it's not like they're making money off of you by charging you more to use their services. They just get a small cut of whatever it is that you bought. So if you buy something for $50, I don't know, maybe they get 0.5% just because they use the card. That's not you paying it. That's the store paying it. which is why small stores charge a little bit more. They want to make up for that loss. But so long as you don't carry balances or let your account go into the negative, or as long as you don't miss a payment or anything like that, you don't get hit with late fees or overdraft fees or anything like that. As long as you're not paying an annual fee to hold a credit card or whatever, there's no issue. As long as you keep the minimum balance in there, you don't go into the negative, you don't borrow a bunch and then not pay it off, nothing bad happens. Nothing bad has happened to me, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now. Now, I always try to figure out what's the smartest payment option. If there's virtually no difference between paying with a check or paying with a card, then okay. If paying with a card is going to cost 5 to 10% more, then I'll pay with a check or cash if I'm in a store. But something that I figured out early on was cashback. Those are the only credit cards I use, ones that return a small percentage of my own currency back to me. And not once in all of the years that I've been doing this have I ever carried a balance. I've always paid everything off in full on time before it was even due. So I've never paid a penny in interest. Not once. I've also never paid a late fee. Not once. Never missed a payment. I've never gotten an overdraft fee because I never let my account go into the negative. See, what a lot of these financial institutions bank on, pun somewhat intended, but what they bank on is people who do not have financial literacy. What they bank on are people's poor financial decisions. A lot of these places, they're rubbing their hands together, they're getting all excited when they see somebody who just got a brand new credit card go run to the store and buy a brand new giant TV, and then they go to another store and they buy the brand new video game console, and then they go home and they go on Amazon or eBay and they buy a whole bunch of video games, and then they go and buy a $300 video game chair because the chairs that they already have in their house apparently don't do the trick. They need to have a video game chair, not just a normal chair, and they'll go buy a bunch of stuff that they don't need. And I'm not picking on the video gamers, by the way. No offense, gamers. It goes for anything. People who buy things that they don't need. It could be a bunch of fast food. It could be anything. People who go and buy a bunch of stuff that they don't really need. Obsessive consumerism. And what really gets these financial institutions excited is when they find out you just made the minimum payment. You charged $4,000 and you made the $25 minimum payment just so you don't get hit with a late fee. And that's when that interest starts racking up. $4,000, or I guess $3,975. And when that interest starts kicking in, see, you only charged $4,000 initially. But by the time you pay off whatever it is that you owe, I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to be way more than $4,000. The interest is what pulls people down and refuses to let them get back up and keeps hitting them when they're down. Which is why you're not supposed to use credit cards that way. You're not supposed to go and buy things you don't need. You're not supposed to go and buy something or finance something that you didn't really need to finance or anything like that. That's not what you're supposed to do. But when it comes to the silver and the gold, and if there's something that you need or something that you want, you can very easily go wherever it is that you keep your silver and gold, under the bed, in a safe, buried in the backyard, wherever it is that you put it. You can go to your stack and you can take a little bit of that gold. Maybe you need 200 bucks or so you grab one of these, or maybe you need something closer to 500 bucks, so you grab one of these, or maybe you need, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks, so you grab one of these. And instead of having to borrow currency from a financial institution, you have the financial freedom to borrow the money from yourself. That's just the way I see it, in my opinion, and from my perspective. Not a financial advisor. Nothing on this channel is financial advice. Make sure you're doing your own research, forming your own opinions, making your own decisions based off of your conclusions, not mine. But that's the way I see it. That's the way I've seen it for a couple of years now. For the length of time that I've been stacking the silver and the gold for. I said it many times in previous videos, but I'll say it again. If you're stacking the silver and the gold, and if you're also stacking some cash, you're essentially being your own bank. You're relying on yourself. This video was actually inspired by a tweet that I posted just last night, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on Twitter, saying something along the lines of, let's make our own money, grow our own food, purify our own water, generate our own power, and just mind our own business. We're not bothering anybody. We're not doing anything to anyone. We're keeping to ourselves. We're having, sure, public conversations and public videos and public comment sections and live streams and stuff like that, but we're not bothering anybody. We're not going to the bank with picket signs and protesting outside of financial institutions saying down with debt or anything like that. That's not what we're doing. We're not causing any trouble. We're not stirring anything up. We're not bothering anyone. We're not interfering with anyone. We're just doing our own thing. We're minding our own business over here. We're making our own money, and we're saving our own money our way on our terms without being overseen by any person or group of people or bank or financial institution or entity or anything like that. We're doing our own thing. And that's what I mean by the freedom. The freedom when it comes to your finances, your financial decisions. You're making money how you're making money. You're saving money how you're saving money. You borrow money from yourself if you need to. And then guess what? You can pay yourself back. But not many people do things that way. What a lot of people do is they go to work, they get paid, they go home, they spend as much as they can possibly spend, and they save what's left over. Most people save what's left after spending. That's not what we do. We spend what's left after saving, I believe. That's what I try to do. And I'm not talking about the bills, by the way. Those come first. Taking care of the financial responsibilities. I understand that. But once all that is taken care of, what do many of us do? What do you do, most likely? What do I do every month? Sometimes twice a month. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a month. I take those dollar bills, or at least a good portion of them. I always make sure to set aside a little bit of cash every month, even if it's just a little bit. But I take a good portion of those dollar bills, the debt notes, and I trade them for a little bit of silver, maybe a little bit of gold. My next precious metal pickup is going to be gold. Hopefully this upcoming week, and then later this month I'm going to be picking me up some new silver. But I do that by trading my paper fiat currency glorified IOU debt notes for the precious metals. And the cash that's left over is what I can continue to hold on to, or I can spend it on something that I don't necessarily need. I've never been much of a spender. I've never been one to go after materialistic things. I don't really care for having too much stuff. I don't like being tied to consumerism. I've never been much of a consumer, I guess you can say. I don't like having all this stuff. I don't like clutter. I don't like having things in my way. I think less is more. Without having clutter, without having stuff, without having stress piled up, I don't have any distractions, so I can stay focused. I can continue being as productive as possible. And that's the way I plan to keep it. But I understand my lifestyle is not for everyone. Most people like to have things all over the place, and pictures all over their walls, and knickknacks all over the place, and to pack their rooms with, you know, fancy chairs and furniture and, you know, big TVs and video game consoles and stuff like that. That's just not for me. I don't like those things. I don't like having stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is that once I'm done saving money for the month by getting the silver and the gold, what's left over after saving is there for me to spend if I choose to spend it. Spending what's left after saving. We're not saving what's left after spending. By doing that, you probably wouldn't have anything left over to save. A couple of bucks, maybe. What's a couple of bucks going to do for you? A couple of bucks can't even get you a little tiny piece of silver. Can't even get you a fractional silver round. Maybe you can get you something off the dollar menu, but that's still not saving. That's more spending. See, that's the difference between what the overwhelming majority of people do. That's how they live their lives. That's how they do things. There's a reason the overwhelming majority of people live paycheck to paycheck. There's a reason the overwhelming majority of people have less than $500 in savings. Whether it's $500 packed into silver, or $500 in cash in their house, or $500 in a savings account, regardless. More than 60% of people don't even have $500 in savings. Coincidentally, a lot of people have quite a bit of debt, and unfortunately a lot of that debt was self-inflicted. But those of us who are stacking the silver and gold, we're doing things a little bit different. There was somewhat of a paradigm shift. And by stacking the silver and the gold, it's almost an escape from the way most people do things. It's an escape from the path that leads you to the inevitable debt. Silver and gold, I believe to be financial freedom. Again, not the way a lot of people refer to financial freedom when they're talking about millions and millions of dollars, but the freedom to do things on your own terms financially. You can do things your way. You don't have to ask anyone anything. You don't have to get permission to do anything. You don't have to answer to anybody. The only person you're borrowing from is yourself, so there's no one to pay back but yourself. And if you know you, pretty sure you can trust you. See, we were talking about this during my live stream a couple of nights ago. I think it was Wednesday night. We were talking about lending people cash and what you have to tell yourself. See, if a friend of mine, or if my cousin, or just anybody, if they said, hey, Mikey, I need 75 bucks, man. I need 75 bucks. Bad. It's a financial emergency. That's 75 bucks. I'm in a really bad situation right now. I need 75 bucks. And if I pull the 75 bucks out of my pocket and say, here you go, pay me back when you can, as soon as you can, but whenever you can, you got to tell that person to pay you back, but you got to tell yourself you're never going to see that $75 again, ever. If you lend somebody money, you tell them that it's a loan, but you tell yourself it was a gift. Do not lend anybody more than you're willing to completely lose. See, when it comes to friends, when it comes to family members, when it comes to even business partners and relationships, money finances get in the way of a lot. In fact, to my understanding, the number one cause for divorces have to do with money. Coincidentally, divorces cost a lot of money. But when it comes to people and friendships and relationships and whatnot, as soon as money gets involved, you're on really shaky grounds. It's a really slippery slope. A lot of marriages fail because of the money. A lot of friendships fall apart over money. But when it comes to the friendship or the relationship or whatever you want to call it that you have with yourself, you know who you are. You know how you do things. You can trust you. I hope you can trust yourself. And you know you're going to pay yourself back. So I don't know if this video was borderline too elevated for some people. I don't know if I went a little bit too far in this video explaining things the way that I did, but I hope you understood the point I was trying to make in today's video when it comes to being debt-free, essentially financially free, because of the precious metals. And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller, easier to manage. I'm also doing giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shoutouts, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 2,000 subscribers. We just hit 1,500, and I appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations, such as the recently released Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug, inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin, which by the way is helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for ocean cleanup charity organizations at no additional cost to you. It comes out of my pocket, not yours. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, once again, what are your thoughts on everything that I shared in today's video? Do you consider stacking the silver and gold somewhat of a path to financial freedom? Again, not in reference to an unlimited amount of cash or cash flow or millions and trillions of dollars, but freedom from debt, freedom from having to ask permission to do things with your own money, freedom from any one person, group of people, bank, financial institution, or entity always over your shoulder, always questioning, what are you doing with your money? What financial decisions are you making? So they can take some notes on what you want to buy, what you want to purchase, what you want to sell, what you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to think about. Head on down to the comments and let me know if you see silver and gold as freedom from all of that nonsense, from all of the debt, from having to ask permission and get permission and do this and do that and jump through hoops and break your back just to make your own financial decisions. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.